Freedom. It's a word we hear so often, but rarely pause to ask ourselves, what does it really mean? Many of us grow up believing that freedom is about doing whatever we want, whenever we want. But in practice, that kind of freedom often feels more like chaos than peace. True freedom, the kind that nourishes the soul and gives you inner calm, comes not from saying yes to everything, but from having the courage to say no to what does not serve you. Think about your daily life for a moment. How many times have you agreed to things out of guilt, fear, or the desire to please others? Maybe you've said yes to extra work even when your body was exhausted. Maybe you've said yes to social invitations when your heart longed for quiet. Maybe you have even said yes to relationships or commitments that drained your spirit because you were afraid of disappointing someone. Each yes may seem small, but together they shape the direction of your life. This video is about reclaiming that direction. Together, we'll explore how true freedom is found, not in unlimited choices, but in the power of self-control. We'll uncover why saying no at the right time is not an act of rejection, but an act of respect, both for yourself and for others. And we'll reflect on how setting boundaries can bring clarity, peace, and a stronger sense of identity in a noisy, demanding world. As you listen, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Where in your life do you struggle to say no? What burdens could you set down if you gave yourself permission to protect your time, your energy, and your peace? Before we begin, I'd love to connect with you. Tell me in the comments. Where are you watching this from? What time is it for you right now as you hear these words? Your stories remind us that even though we're scattered across the globe, we share the same search for freedom and meaning. And if this message resonates with you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and share it with someone who might need to hear these words today. Your support helps this community grow, and together we can build a space of wisdom, calm, and inner strength. When people think of freedom, the first image that often comes to mind is the ability to do anything at any time. No rules, no limits, no boundaries. But if you've ever tried living that way, you'll know it doesn't lead to peace. It leads to exhaustion. Imagine saying yes to every request, every opportunity, every impulse. At first, it might feel exhilarating, but soon your days become scattered, your energy fragmented, and your spirit restless. Real freedom is not found in endless permission, but in the quiet discipline of choosing what truly matters. This truth is simple, but living, it is difficult. Many of us grow up being told to keep doors open, to avoid missing out, to stretch ourselves endlessly. Society praises productivity, busyness, and availability. If you're always saying yes, people call you reliable, hardworking, even selfless. Yet deep inside, a different story plays out, the story of fatigue, resentment, and the silent loss of identity. So how do we solve this conflict? The first step is recognizing that freedom comes from self-control, not from surrendering to every demand. Picture your life as a garden. If you plant every seed someone hands you, your soil will soon choke with weeds. But if you choose carefully what to grow, your garden will thrive. In the same way, you must learn to say no to what does not align with your values, your health, or your vision. This isn't easy. At first, saying no may feel selfish. You might fear disappointing others. You might feel guilty for protecting your own boundaries. That's the negative side of the lesson. It stirs discomfort, both in you and in those around you. Some people may resist questioning your decisions. They may accuse you of being distant, unhelpful, or uncaring. But remember, discomfort is not the same as wrongness. It is simply the growing pain of change. On the positive side, learning to decline unnecessary obligations brings a deep, surprising peace. Imagine the relief of having fewer commitments, fewer distractions, fewer expectations pulling you in opposite directions. You create space to breathe, to think, to rest, and to connect with what nourishes your soul. When you no longer feel enslaved by the need to please you, begin to recover your energy and your sense of self. If you're listening now and thinking, that sounds good, but my life is too complicated for that, I want you to know you are not alone. Many of us feel trapped in webs of responsibility. Maybe you're a parent balancing work and family, or someone supporting relatives while managing your own dreams. Maybe you're in a job where every request feels urgent and saying no seems like a career risk. These situations are real and they are heavy. I hear you, yet within every complex web there are threads you can release. Start small. Perhaps you cannot decline every extra task at work, but you can decline the late-night scrolling that steals your sleep. Perhaps you cannot walk away from every demanding relationship, but you can say no to the conversations that leave you drained rather than enriched. Every small no is a step toward reclaiming your time and spirit. Ask yourself, which of my burdens are self-chosen and which are truly necessary? Am I carrying this because it serves my values or because I'm afraid of saying no? These questions are not meant to criticize but to guide. The truth is that every human life holds limits, and it is only by respecting those limits that we can experience balance. The beauty of this practice is that it does not cut you off from others, it deepens your authenticity with them. When you say yes out of guilt, your actions lack joy and sincerity. But when you say yes from a place of alignment, your presence is wholehearted. Boundaries are not walls. They are the foundations of honest connection. So if you are in crisis now, feeling torn, overwhelmed, or lost, pause and breathe. Know that it is okay to admit that you cannot do everything. It is okay to protect your time and energy, and it is more than okay to rest. In fact, it is necessary. Your worth is not defined by how much you carry, but by how faithfully you live your truth. The ancient Stoics understood this long before us. Epictetus reminded his students that freedom is not found in having everything, but in mastering desire and fear. He asked, is freedom anything else than the right to live as we wish? Nothing else. But he warned that living as we wish does not mean chasing impulses. It means aligning with reason, virtue, and nature. Marcus Aurelius echoed this when he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." Think of your own life. How often have you surrendered your peace simply because you couldn't say no? How much of your exhaustion is caused not by fate, but by your own willingness to carry what isn't yours? The Stoics would urge you to let go, to choose with wisdom, and to reclaim your inner freedom. There is a quiet strength in the word no. It may look like a small word, but for many of us, it feels heavier than mountains. Each time we are asked to help, to join, to give, to stay longer, a part of us wants to be agreeable. We want to be kind, supportive, dependable. Yet deep down, we know that every yes, given without thought, chips away at our time, our energy, and our peace. To say no is to protect what is sacred, and that is an act of self-mastery. Think about the times you have said yes when you truly wanted to say no. Perhaps it was an invitation you accepted out of guilt, or a work assignment you agreed to because you feared disappointing your boss. In the moment, your yes seemed harmless, but afterward, the weight of that choice lingered. Frustration, exhaustion, even resentment. This is the negative side of ignoring boundaries. By giving into pressure, we betray ourselves. On the other hand, when you learn to say no with clarity and kindness, something profound happens. You stop scattering yourself across 1,000 shallow commitments and instead invest deeply in what matters. Imagine finishing a workday without the dread of extra obligations you never wanted. Imagine spending your evening with the people and activities that nourish your soul instead of draining it. The positive side of saying no is the freedom to live in alignment with your values. But let's be honest, saying no is not always welcomed by others. Friends may feel hurt. Colleagues may misinterpret your boundaries as selfishness. Family members may see it as rejection. This is where the struggle lies. The act of protecting your space may trigger discomfort in those who benefited from your endless availability. Their reactions are not proof that you are wrong. They are proof that you are changing the terms of a relationship. And change, even when healthy, rarely comes without resistance. For those listening who feel overwhelmed by this conflict, I want you to know that I understand. It is not easy to turn away from long-standing patterns. Many of us grew up equating love with sacrifice, service with self-neglect, and kindness with compliance. If you feel guilty every time you decline, you are not alone. These are deeply ingrained habits, not personal flaws. So how do we navigate this terrain with grace? Begin with honesty, both with yourself and with others. When you say no, you do not have to justify yourself with long explanations. A simple, respectful statement is enough. I can't take this on right now, or I need to rest this evening. The power of no lies in its clarity. You are not apologizing for existing. You are affirming your limits. Next, practice consistency. The first few times it will feel awkward. You might second guess yourself. But over time, as you honor your boundaries, others will begin to respect them as well. Consistency teaches people how to treat you. If your no is firm yet compassionate, you will earn respect even from those who resist at first. Finally, remember that saying no is not only for your benefit, it also allows others to take responsibility for their own choices. When you stop rescuing everyone, they grow stronger. When you stop overextending, you show them that real connection is built on truth, not obligation. If you are in crisis right now, feeling drained, overcommitted, and close to breaking, I invite you to pause. Take a deep breath. Know that your worth is not measured by how many people you keep happy. You are not failing when you protect your energy. You are honoring it. Peace comes when you realize that your life is not meant to be lived as an endless yes. It is meant to be lived with intention, balance, and courage. The Stoics taught that mastery of self is the highest freedom. Epictetus often reminded his students that a person who cannot refuse is a person enslaved not by chains, but by the opinions of others. He asked, "Is freedom anything else but the power to live as we will?" But to live as we will means to choose according to reason and virtue, not impulse or fear. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. When you fear the reaction to your no, you give away your freedom, but when you act from clarity, you reclaim it." So ask yourself, what kind of life are you building if every yes is given against your will? Is that truly freedom, or just another kind of captivity? One of the greatest illusions of modern life is the belief that we must hold on to everything, every opportunity, every possession, every responsibility. We fear that if we let go, we will lose our place, our worth, or our relevance. But in truth, clinging to too much is precisely what steals our peace. Real silence of the mind comes not from adding more, but from releasing what we no longer need. Consider your daily routine. How much of it is filled with noise, constant notifications, endless conversations, obligations that weigh on your spirit? Perhaps your calendar looks impressive, but inside you feel hollow. This is the negative side of accumulation. The more you try to hold, the less space you have to breathe. Life becomes a blur of commitments without depth. Yet there is a powerful alternative. When you allow yourself to let go, you create space. That space is not emptiness, it is the foundation of peace. Imagine clearing a cluttered room. At first, the act of removing things feels uncomfortable. You wonder, what if I need this later? But once the clutter is gone, the room feels lighter, brighter, more alive. The same is true for your mind and your life. The challenge, of course, is emotional. Letting go means facing fear, the fear of missing out, the fear of being judged, the fear of standing still while others race ahead. Many people resist simplifying because they believe their worth is tied to how much they can carry. This is the negative voice inside whispering that if you slow down, you'll fall behind. But listen carefully to the positive truth. Slowing down is not falling behind. It is moving in alignment with your own rhythm. It is reclaiming your energy from the endless race and choosing to walk at a pace that allows you to notice the beauty around you. Letting go does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means distinguishing between what is essential and what is excess. To those listening who feel overwhelmed, I want to pause here and acknowledge your pain. Maybe you are juggling multiple roles, caregiver, worker, friend, sibling, and you feel there is no room to release anything. Maybe you are holding on to memories or regrets that haunt you. Or perhaps you are burdened by the silent weight of expectations, always striving to be enough. I want you to know your feelings are real. Your exhaustion is valid, and you deserve peace. So how can you begin this process of letting go? Start small. Begin with what feels safe. Perhaps it's choosing not to answer a message immediately or allowing yourself a few quiet minutes in the morning without screens. Perhaps it's setting aside an object that no longer serves you or gently stepping away from a commitment that drains you. Letting go is not a single dramatic act. It is a practice, built choice by choice. Another way is through journaling. Write down what truly matters to you, and then list the things you spend most of your time on. Compare the two. Are they aligned? If not, what can you release? This practice may reveal how much of your energy is consumed by things that do not reflect your deepest values. The beauty of letting go is that it allows you to say a deeper yes. By saying no to clutter, you say yes to clarity. By releasing distractions, you say yes to presence. By laying down unnecessary burdens, you say yes to peace. In this sense, letting go is not a loss, it is a gift. If you are in crisis right now, drowning in too many tasks, too many worries, too many voices, I invite you to take a deep breath. Feel the air fill your lungs. For just a moment, release the need to solve everything. Trust that it is enough to let go of one small thing today. That single act can open the door to silence, to stillness, to the freedom you have been craving. The Stoics knew the power of letting go. Seneca warned against scattering ourselves across countless pursuits, writing to be everywhere is to be nowhere. He advised that life should be measured not by its length, but by its depth. This wisdom reminds us that clinging to everything only leaves us empty, while focusing on what matters fills us with meaning. Epictetus taught that the essence of freedom lies in distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. He asked his students, "What upsets people is not things themselves, but their judgments about these things. When we refuse to release what we cannot change, we bind ourselves in unnecessary suffering. Ask yourself, what am I holding that no longer serves me? Which burdens belong to me? And which have I taken on out of fear?" In letting go, you are not abandoning life. You are embracing it more fully. We live in a world that rewards availability. The person who answers emails at midnight, who never declines a request, who is always ready to help this person, is praised as dependable, loyal, even heroic. Yet behind the applause, there is often exhaustion, anxiety, and the quiet erosion of self. Society tells us that to be good, we must always say yes. But the truth is the opposite. To be whole, we must learn when to say no. The lack of boundaries is one of the most common causes of burnout today. Without boundaries, your work invades your rest. Your friendships drain instead of nourish. And your sense of identity becomes blurred by the expectations of others. At first, this seems like generosity. You believe you are being helpful, supportive, selfless. But the negative side soon emerges: resentment, fatigue, and even anger towards the very people you wanted to serve. On the other hand, when you set boundaries, you protect both yourself and your relationships. Boundaries are not walls. They are agreements that clarify what is acceptable and what is not. They create honesty, where before there was only silent frustration. The positive side is striking when people know your limits. They know your yes is genuine. When you decline with respect, you invite respect in return. Of course, boundaries are not always easy to set. In many cultures, saying no to elders, bosses, or family feels like betrayal. In some workplaces, boundaries are seen as weakness. Friends may push back, insisting that you've changed. And yes, you have changed because you are no longer willing to be consumed by demands that disregard your humanity. This resistance is uncomfortable, but it is part of growth. If you are listening now and struggling with this very issue, I want to pause to acknowledge your experience. Perhaps you are in a job where your hours stretch endlessly and you feel guilty leaving on time. Perhaps you are in a relationship where you give more than you receive, afraid that asking for balance will drive the other person away. Perhaps you are someone who has always been the strong one, the one others lean on, and you feel you cannot rest without disappointing someone. Please know you are not alone. The path forward begins with small, courageous steps. Start by identifying your non-negotiables: rest, health time, for family time, for yourself. These are not luxuries, they are necessities. Then practice communicating them clearly without anger or apology. I can't stay late tonight. I need to rest. I'm not available this weekend. I've set aside time for family. At first, your voice may tremble, but over time, your boundaries will become part of how others understand you. It also helps to remember that boundaries benefit others too. When you are rested, your work is better. When you are honest, your relationships are stronger. When you say no, you give others the chance to take responsibility rather than leaning on you endlessly. Boundaries create a culture of mutual respect where no one has to guess what the other is silently resenting. Still, there will be moments of conflict. Some people may leave when you stop giving beyond your limits. It will hurt, but it will also reveal something important. Relationships that only survive when you have no boundaries were never truly healthy. The pain of loss can lead to the freedom of authenticity. So let us imagine together what your life could look like with strong boundaries. You finish your workday on time, knowing you gave your best. You spend your evenings in peace, not in guilt. Your friendships are based on mutual care, not one-sided sacrifice. And your heart feels lighter, not burdened. This is not selfishness, it is balance. It is the foundation of a life lived with dignity. If you are in crisis, now torn between your desire to be there for others and your need to care for yourself, I invite you to take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel the truth you cannot pour from an empty cup. Protecting your boundaries is not rejection, it is love both for yourself and for those around you. The ancient Stoics were clear about the importance of protecting the mind from intrusion. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In today's language, this means guarding your mental and emotional boundaries as fiercely as your physical safety. Epictetus also reminded his students that no one can harm you without your consent. If others try to invade your peace with demands, it is your choice whether to yield or to stand firm. He asked, "Who is your master?" He who has authority over what you wish or fear. If you cannot say no, then anyone who makes a request becomes your master. So as to you who holds authority over your time and your peace. Is it truly you, or have you handed it over to the endless demands of others? To reclaim freedom, you must reclaim your right to boundaries. Freedom is not measured by how many doors are open to you, but by the courage you have to close the ones that lead nowhere. In a culture that constantly tells us to want more, do more, and be more, it can feel radical to stop and ask, what is truly mine to carry? What belongs to me? And what have I picked up out of fear, guilt, or habit? This is the heart of living with intention, choosing what truly belongs to you. Many of us live as though life is a storage room that we must fill to the ceiling. We collect commitments, obligations, possessions, and relationships until there is barely room to breathe. On the surface, it may look like abundance, but inside it feels like suffocation. The negative side of this way of living is clear exhaustion, confusion, and the creeping sense that we are living someone else's life instead of our own. Yet there is another way. By consciously choosing what belongs to you, you create a life that feels authentic, balanced, and peaceful. Imagine walking into that storage room and deciding with care which things to keep and which to release. You keep the relationships that nourish you, the work that aligns with your values, the practices that bring you health and joy. You let go of the rest, not out of rejection, but out of wisdom. The positive side of this practice is the freedom that emerges when your life reflects your true self. Of course, this process is not without difficulty. Letting go of what does not belong to you may cause discomfort. Friends may not understand why you step back. Family may question your choices. The world may tell you that you are wasting opportunities. These criticisms can sting, but ask yourself, is it really a waste to protect your peace? Is it really a loss to preserve your dignity? Or is it the first real gain you've had in years? If you are listening and feel overwhelmed, please hear this. You are not alone. Perhaps you feel trapped in a career that pays well but eats away at your soul. Perhaps you are carrying responsibilities that were handed down to you but never chosen by you. Perhaps you are haunted by regrets that do not belong to your present life but still occupy your heart. These are heavy burdens, and they deserve compassion. I want you to know that I see you, I hear you, and your struggle is valid. How do we begin to resolve this? The answer lies in small, deliberate choices. Each day ask, is this mine, or does it belong to someone else's expectations? Does this task align with my values, or am I doing it out of fear? When the answer points to fear or guilt, pause. Give yourself permission to reconsider. Maybe you cannot release everything at once, but you can begin with one thing, one unnecessary burden laid down, one small step toward authenticity. Over time, these small steps create profound change. You will find that your life begins to quiet. The noise of unnecessary obligations fades, leaving space for clarity. The anxiety of endless comparison lessens because you no longer measure yourself by what does not belong to you. And in that space, peace emerges not as a grand revelation, but as a steady, gentle presence. Picture your days with this peace. You wake without the weight of false obligations pressing against your chest. You move through your hours with a sense of alignment, not scattered by demands that contradict your soul. And at night, you rest more easily because you are no longer fighting battles that were never yours to fight. This is the peace of choosing what truly belongs to you. So let me ask you, what could you let go of today? What responsibility, expectation, or regret could you set down even just for a while? And if you did, what space might open in your heart? What joy might return? The Stoics were masters at this art of discernment. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." He warned against scattering ourselves on what does not matter, urging instead a life devoted to what truly belongs to us: virtue, wisdom, and peace of mind. Marcus Aurelius echoed this in his meditations, reminding himself daily, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." His words are simple, but they cut through the noise. Choose only what aligns with truth and goodness. Let the rest fall away. And Epictetus posed the ultimate question: do not seek to have events happen as you want them to, but instead want them to happen as they do. To live well, we must release what is not ours to control. Only then do we stand free, calm, and whole. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want to leave you with a gentle reminder: you are not alone in your struggles. Every person who listens here has carried their own unseen burdens, fought private battles, and endured moments of deep exhaustion. And yet here you are, still searching for wisdom, still seeking peace, still choosing growth. That alone is a quiet act of courage. Life will always place demands upon us. There will always be voices pulling, tasks pressing, and expectations waiting. But in the midst of this noise, you have the power to choose. You can choose what belongs to you and what does not. You can choose when to give and when to rest. You can choose to protect your inner peace, even if the world does not always understand. And each small choice in favor of peace is a gift, not only to yourself, but to those around you. If you find yourself in crisis right now, I hope these words have offered you comfort. I hope you felt seen, heard, and understood. Your exhaustion is not weakness. It is simply the body and soul's way of asking for gentleness. Please take this as permission to pause, to breathe, to let go of just one burden today. Small steps are enough. Healing does not come from doing everything at once, but from doing one kind thing for yourself at a time. As you leave this video, I want to offer you my heartfelt wish. May you find health in your body, calm in your mind, and lightness in your spirit. May you wake tomorrow with a little more space in your heart, and may you carry that peace into the lives of those you touch. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? What time is it for you right now as you hear these words? Sharing your place and your moment reminds us that we are a community connected across distance by the same search for peace and wisdom. And if these reflections have brought you comfort, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together, we are building a space of calm healing and strength, a place where you are always welcome and where your voice matters. So until we meet again, take care of yourself. Protect your peace, honor your boundaries, and remember that you are worthy of the freedom you seek. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time, and may peace walk beside you in every step of your journey.